Hello and welcome back to Desmond and Rebecca, or Rebecca and Desmond. Uh, Now another video that I was kind of teasing it before when I was making the placeholders and making these actually. Cutting them to size or processing properly. Last video you saw that there was a big sheet with these together. What I've done is I got the majority of the extra material off, so like the edges and I've separated them as well because they were like 4 in one sheet. These are over here. I've just separated them a bit coarsely. What I then did is I 3D printed. You can also just make your own or just use a trading card that's cheap that you don't mind damaging to use as a stencil. As you can see here, there's an inner and outer edge with little tabs in between, and the idea is you can place the blank, oh well, I call it the blank, but it's more like a raw one there. Line it up to the bottom of the let's see if I can show this. There is a bottom line above the additional 10 game cards. There's like this line here that's always straight, and what you'll do is align that edge with the inner edge. Be sure you put the printed on the bed part down, because that's flatter than this side, for instance, as you can see. So you put it down, you align it to the best of your ability, because it's a bit finicky. You only have to do this with one card, by the way, first. So you'll align it where you're like, okay, this makes sense, and you'll use a fine tip marker to trace the edges. What you'll then do is use one of these, or scissors to be fair, to line it up and cut off the bottom part first, because you know that this line is always straight on the bottom. As you can see, this is also straight, so you know that this is now your reference point. You'll align it to the bottom. There's an edge here. There's an edge. As you can see, it doesn't go further if I push it. So there's an edge. It's 90 degrees then. So you align it here, and then you'll cut the upper piece like a tiny bit off, or wherever you put your mark down. There you go. So now you got a minimal amount of material going here. So you now know that this edge is 90 degrees, and you can cut the rest by reference. This frame I have here is meant for the Vault X binders. They have out of my head, a 67 by 98 or something like that dimension, which is a little bit bigger than a regular Pokemon card. So what you can do is, this is not the same size of a Pokemon card, it's a bit bigger. So I can get more of the art in. As you can see, I can have a piece of the Pokemon logo still in. There's another version I will upload, which is in the description. That's a bit smaller. That's just actually the size of a Pokemon card if you have, OCD or something. And you'll be missing out, sadly, part of the Pokemon logo, but you can do the same thing, and yeah, it'll just be a bit smaller, I suppose. So once you have this cut, let me just finish this one off. There, and then the last cut. I'll show you my trick that I'm doing sitting on. When you have the last cut done, let me align these up, because I didn't actually use the marker this time, but you should use the marker. Okay. So now you have your fit to size card, or what do you call it? Packaging, I guess. And I'll use my little corner, because this is still sharp. It will cut through your binder. So you'll use this thing to remove the corners. Should probably get a new one, because this one is getting pretty dull. I've been using it for a while. As you can see, it's now a perfect size, no sharp corners to put into the binder. Once you have this done once, You do not have to use this again, because this is a bit finicky to use constantly. You can if you want, obviously, but you don't have to. What I do, after I've done this once, I now have my little template, essentially, right? What I do is I then, again, use the bottom line to just align it manually by eye, because it's faster. So, go like so. Cut it down. I now have my straight edge. It looks wonky because I cut the card wonky before, but it's straight, as you can see. So now I have here a straight edge. Align it again, and then remove the other side. So now again, I know this is 90 degrees over here. I now take this, put this in, put this on top. Align it like so I know where to cut, and in my case it's right below the H marking for number 6. Bottom it up to the side, cut. As you can see, another nice 90-degree cut. And for the last one, I do the same thing. Take this one again, flip it upside down so it's easier to see the edge. Ease it in, it's in, hold it right there, take this out and clamp it down, cut. And now it's both in width, height and in alignment, it's the exact same. So instead of having to, you know, take a marker to mark them all down and then cut them by aligning it, this is just easier by using a template, essentially. So it's like using a double template. So the first time you align it, you basically use this to make your first template, I guess. I would recommend you to do this only with a spare one. So let's say you had another one of these, you save this one and you make a new one to actually use as a template, because you can probably bend it on accident or something. So just keep that in mind, just use a spare one. And also be sure that if you use one of these, always use the same one, because if you make this one with this one will be slightly off. Then you make this one with this one will be even more off, and eventually it will be too big or too small, etc. So always be sure you use the same throwaway template. That's my little Goldilocks tip I can give you. So again, I already removed the bottom of this before to demonstrate, so you know it's straight. I'll then trim it again using the bottom as a straight edge, essentially. There you go. Actually didn't cut all the way through because I didn't put enough pressure down. So put pressure down. So now I have a 90 degree. Align it again. Use the other card on top. Align it again. In this case, I know that it's right below the number 6 logo here. Okay, cut it again. And then flip it one last time. And now I actually do have to use it. And then put it down. Put you here. Align it up. And put it down. Cut it. Take it out. See if it doesn't move. Cut it all the way through. And now it's again a perfect match. Got the corners. I just realized something, so I will show you what I mean. What you also can do, that I just thought about, is when you have your blank, essentially, so you get a little marker. And if you want, you can actually put a bit of tape if you don't want to do it directly on this thing, so you don't, you know, mark it unnecessarily. Let me just put this asleep. Nice, nice, nice. Oh. What you do is, as we said before, the bottom side, we always know where that is, so we don't have to make a mark for that. This side, we also always know where this is, because it's, we just take a little bit of the edge off, I guess. And this side, we also know by the width. So the only thing we should really care, sorry, the height we know because it's right below the number 6. This edge is the only edge that's like a variable in that sense, which is basically this width over here, this direction. So what you'll do is you'll align it up with the car you have as reference. There you go. And you take your marker or whatever, and you put a little line on the edge, as you can see here. As you can see, there's a line here, and this is my reference for the last cut. So now I don't even have to measure anything. I don't even need this, essentially, because all I do, if it's dry, I assume it is. So I go in, put it down, align the bottom with the line that we have on the card printed. Take this out, as you can see. Then I'll trim the tiny edge off. Let's see, a bit more actually. Trim the edge off a bit. Try to take as minimal as you can for the second. So this is the first cut, yeah? Try to take off as little as you can for the second cut, because this cut over here is the one that depends on how wide the card is, essentially. Then you go again here below the number 6. Again, this is only for the Pokemon Vault X binders. That is this dimension. When you use the regular Pokemon sized template, it's a bit shorter and less wide. So don't cut it at the number 6 if you want to have it the Pokemon dimensions. And I have the mark here. I'll line it up with the mark, put it down, don't even have to look. And I cut. I actually didn't. There you go. Cut. And now it's perfectly the same as the other one. I'll just get the corners off. I don't even know if I showed it before because I didn't check, but this is how you get the corners off with the little corner removal device. Double check. As you can see, it's perfectly in line. Height-wise as well. So perfect copy. So I don't have to measure again in that sense. So again, this is only for the 10 card sleeves, because this one is a 3 slot, a 3 card pack, which is a bit smaller. So I have to double check if it's actually the same or not. So I'll put this in, cut off the bottom, trim as little as I can from the side, trim below the 6. Let's see, this is the 6, there we go. And now I can align it with my mark. And indeed, it's a little bit smaller in the width because the sides don't go up as much because there's less cards. So this has a 2mm wider footprint, which looks a bit bad, but it's not that bad. If you use the Pokemon sized one of these, it will be actually flush then. So just keep that in mind. You might want to use for the 3 packs the Pokemon card size version, and for the 10 packs the bigger one, so that it looks a little bit better. But I'm not too bothered by it, just a little bit. So let me put this again. Align the bottom, cut off, bottom it out, take as little as I can from the side here, there you go. Then flip it again, take a bit off the number 6, flip it again, line it up, cut it down. See, this one actually took quite a bit, which is good. And now, where's the reference card? This one. It's the exact same width and height as the reference card. So use this marker for your last cut, and then you don't even have to measure anything in that sense. I'm pretty sure I yapped enough for the for what I'm doing, because it's kind of simple. Just want to show it off, and then I guess thank you for watching. Enjoy collecting, and like and subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one. Write stuff down in the description. We always read it, we always appreciate it, and we like a discussion or just speaking in general. And have a nice day. Bye.